Now, folks, when we talk about the American West, most people picture gun smoke, cavalry charges, and endless wars between settlers and tribes. But what if I told you all that, tucked up in the wilds of what we now call Montana, there was a time when peace didn't just happen, it thrived? Before the gold rush fever and before the surveyors started drawing hard lines on soft land, the great tribes of the northern plains, Nez Perce, Shoshone, Flathead, Yakima, Coeur d'Alene, Crow, and even the fierce Blackfoot, found a kind of balance. A fragile harmony born not out of treaties written in Washington, but out of respect written on the wind. This here's the story of a Montana that almost was. A time when the buffalo herds ran thick, the trout filled the rivers, and the tribes met under what they called the sky of understanding. Welcome to Twisted History, when the smoke rose in peace. Back in the 1850s, Montana wasn't yet a state. Heck, it wasn't even a proper territory until 1864. It was what cartographers called the unorganized country. But to the tribes, it was a sacred meeting ground where mountain met prairie and the people met each other. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. To the Nez Perce, the Bitterroot Valley was a place of abundance. To the Flathead, the high meadows were home. To the Crow, those same valleys were part of their seasonal migration routes. And to the Blackfoot, it was a borderland between life and war. Now, y'all might think that'd make for endless conflict, but that decade told a different story. The great herds still roamed free, and no tribe yet had to fight over dwindlin ground. So, for a brief and shining time, the people of the North shared water, trails, and trade with a peace that baffled outsiders. In the summer of 1856, an event known among elders as the Smoke of the Seven Fires took place near the present-day Clark Fork River. The Flathead arrived first, bringing cured salmon and beautifully tanned hides. The Crow came from the east, leading ponies bred for speed and endurance. The Nez Perce came from the south, with obsidian arrowheads and tobacco. Even a few Yakima and Coeur d'Alene traders joined, hauling cedar baskets, beadwork, and stories from far away. They didn't sign treaties, they traded songs. They smoked pipes carved from soft red stone, shared roasted venison, and spoke of hunting grounds in a way that honored the land, not claimed it. To them, ownership wasn't about fences or flags, it was about stewardship. You belonged to the land, not the other way around. And that understanding, simple as it sounds, kept the peace better than any piece of paper ever drafted back east. One of the lesser-known reasons for peace was the Medicine Trail, a seasonal path stretching from what's now the Salmon River in Idaho to the Yellowstone country. This trail wasn't just for trade, it was a pilgrimage. Tribes traveled it to visit sacred springs, exchange healers, and share medicinal herbs. It was said that along the Medicine Trail no blood could be spilled. If two enemy bands met, they were to lay down their weapons, smoke, and speak.
A Flathead elder once said, "If the Medicine Trail runs through your heart, you can't walk with anger."
Imagine that. 7 nations sharing a spiritual truce that worked, all without the cavalry or congressmen getting involved. The horse. Now there's where the magic really happened. By the 1850s, every tribe in Montana had mastered horsemanship. Horses weren't just transport, they were language. The Crow were famous for their breeding, tall, proud Mustangs with glossy coats. The Blackfoot admired them but often stole them. It was how they tested courage. But in this peaceful period, horse raids were replaced with horse races. At the annual gathering of winds, held near what we now call Helena, each tribe brought their best mounts. The races weren't just competition, they were diplomacy on 4 legs. If a Nez Perce horse outran a Crow stallion, both tribes shared the glory. Sometimes they even traded horses right there as a sign of mutual respect.
It said a Yakima storyteller once joked, "A horse can run faster than anger." And for a time, that was true.
But peace never lasts forever, not on the edge of empire. By the late 1850s, fur trappers and prospectors started showing up, mostly out of Fort Benton and the Bitterroot routes. The tribes had seen traders before, but these newcomers had one thing the old mountain men didn't: ambition backed by maps. They didn't just trade for pelts, they claimed land for territory. Yet even then, the tribes met in what became known as the Council of the Three Rivers, near the confluence of the Gallatin, Madison, and Jefferson. There, the Flathead, Crow, and Nez Perce discussed what to do. Some wanted to fight. Others said the peace must hold for the sake of their children. One Nez Perce chief, possibly Old Joseph, father of the famous Chief Joseph, was said to have stood and declared,
"The land is our mother. You do not strike your mother even when others do."
For a moment, peace held, but it trembled like a leaf before a storm. Now the Blackfoot were known as fierce warriors, the lords of the plains. Their lands stretched north toward the Canadian border, where the buffalo ran thick. They watched this peace among their southern neighbors with suspicion. The Crow were long rivals, the Nez Perce too gentle for their liking. But the Blackfoot also knew power didn't always come from war, it came from alliances. So, in the fall of 1858, near what is now Cut Bank Creek, a rare meeting took place. A young Crow chief named Two Moons and a Blackfoot leader called Red Horns shared a campfire. The story goes that Two Moons offered Red Horns a horse, white as the snows of Glacier. In return, Red Horns offered peace for one winter. That winter passed without a single raid between them, the first such season in over 50 years. It was short, but history remembers it. The peace between Crow and Blackfoot would be called the Winter of Quiet Hooves. But the 1850s turned to the 1860s, and the wind carried darker smoke. Gold was found in the streams near Bannock and Virginia City. Missionaries brought crosses, and soldiers brought forts. The tribes tried one last time to keep their sky of understanding. The Flathead sent envoys to the Crow, the Nez Perce offered a new gathering in the Bitterroot. But peace is like a teepee in a storm, strong yet fragile. The newcomers didn't understand the ways of shared land. To them, peace looked like weakness. By 1863, the Medicine Trail saw blood. The old council grounds grew silent. The horses no longer raced. Still, old songs say that when the wind rises across the high plains at dusk, you can hear laughter, the echo of the time when nations walked together. So what's the lesson in all this? Peace among nations, no matter the century, comes not from treaties or talk of power, but from understanding. The tribes of Montana in the 1850s proved it could be done even for a while. They shared rivers, trails, and dreams under the same endless sky. And though that harmony was broken by greed and gold, its spirit still lingers in those valleys. Next time you drive through the Bitterroot or see the sunset on the Flathead Lake, remember, this land once held not just warriors, but neighbors. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real twisted part of history. That peace once ruled where war now fills the books. This has been Twisted History, when the smoke rose in peace. Until next time, keep your campfire warm and your stories true. And I want to give you a big thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Come back next week for more Twisted History.